And welcome to Hero Power, episode 56. I am your host, Avantes, and as always, I am joined by my co-hosts, starting at the top, Zeroshio.
What is up, gang?
And Versika.
Apparently, I'm old.
Yeah, so for the audio listeners, sorry, but pre-show is awesome. That's all I got to say. You need to be here. We usually go live about 7:20 on Wednesday nights, and craziness happens. But we are joined today by some very special guests. We've got Cerberus.
Talking to mute.
Cerberus. He looks frozen.
Oh no.
And we'll just go to Chimp.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. We are super glad to have you guys here from Tasteful Charades.
Right.
So,
Oh no.
Glad to be here, man. Thanks for inviting us.
yeah. We will get Cerberus back on the show here in just a minute. All right. So, with that said, let's jump right into it. Versika, tell us a little bit about our friends over at Vaforce.
All right, guys. So we've been talking a couple weeks now about getting ready for the Christmas holiday and what Vaforce can do to help you. But let's say that you're just starting out with gaming. You're not really sure what you want out of a gaming computer. You're not really sure just how much you're going to push the limits of a system. Vaforce has an introductory gaming computer called the Element. It is actually inspired by us here at Hero Power. It's an entry-level PC. It only runs about $450. It runs a 3.1 gigahertz quad-core processor. It's got a Radeon R7 series graphics card in it, 4 gigs of RAM, and a 1 terabyte hard drive. It includes Windows installed on the system. It's the perfect starter set if you don't really know how much you're going to tax the system or what games you really want to play. It's actually upgradable from there. So if you're looking for that introductory system, now's a great time to check it out. Go to VaForceGaming.com, or you can link to them through us at HeroPowerHS.com. Just front page, right side, go down. There in our links on the side. You can click right there, take you right to the page. Go to the product section. It'll line out their products. It'll let you know anything you want to know about those systems on that page. If there's something that it doesn't show and you want to know a little bit more about it, go to the Contact Us page. And the guys at Vaforce will be more than happy to send you any information you need on any of the systems.
That's right. All right, guys. We've got 3 new patrons this week that we need to thank. So, big thanks to Jake, also known as Kindfish, Travis, the Bassoon Buffoon, and Ian, Turtools. Guys, you don't know what it means to us to have your support. It allows us to keep doing the show. It allows us to have this awesome tournament coming up in January. I know you guys are excited. We're excited, and very much looking forward to working with you guys in the future. So, all right. Now, on to emails, because Zeroshio, you get to eat this week. We got a listener email.
Oh yeah, we got
have-
an awesome listener email.
Do we have Cerberus back yet? I see a little gray spinny wheel.
Hey,
I'm
there
working
he
on
is.
it. Yay!
All right.
I'm back.
Welcome
Sorry.
back.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's get to our listener email this week. This week it's from Miles, and he says, "Greetings and salutations. Just wanted to drop you guys a few lines and let you guys know how much I enjoy the show. I love listening to the show and honestly wish you guys did more than just one show. I also wanted to thank you guys for all you do in the Hearthstone community. I have really only dealt with Versika in game, but I have listened to Zeroshio on other podcasts, so I know you guys are out there. Versika is like your show's own little Renaud, complete with the salt. And Zero is like everyone's favorite drunk uncle with all the corny puns and catchphrases. Avantes is kind of like the family patriarch just trying to herd all the kittens in the same direction, and I can't get enough of it. If you only knew how true that was. All right, so he says, I'll get to my questions and get out of here. I thought Priest was going to come out of this new expansion super strong and clearly the class to beat. But after a couple of neutral card reveals and Pirates Zeroshio, I think Rogue could be the class to beat. What are your thoughts? Rip Shaman, Versika. Sorry. My last question, and really the most important one, where did the blog posts go? There hasn't been a new one in a while, and it was a bit before the last one came out. Do you feel there isn't enough content to write on, or is this something you guys are phasing out? All right, so Miles, first off, thank you so much. You have no clue how much laughter we got out of reading your email the first time. It was hilarious. So to get right to your questions about Priest and Rogue, you sent us this email early in the week. They were still doing Priest. They were still doing Kabal reveals at the end of last week, and they released the Priest Legendary. And I think your original assumption is correct. I think Priest is going to be pretty strong. But let's get somebody besides my opinion. Zeroshio, let's start with you. What are your thoughts on Priest and Rogue?
I think Priest is going to be really strong. I think Rogue got a lot of the initial love because they revealed the cards first. And I think it's going to be strong, but I don't think that Pirate Rogue deck that they demoed is really going to be as good with some of the new mechanics that are coming out.
Okay. Versika, thoughts?
I do agree that I think Priest is going to be strong. I think Priest got a little bit of help in the early and mid game, which they definitely needed. They also got a sixth turn board clear, which I think is going to be huge. It was something that they desperately needed. I think Blizzard's kind of slowing the early game down a little bit and concentrating more on that mid game, just from what I've seen in the cards that they revealed so far. So I think Rogue and Druid and Priest will all benefit from this. To tell you the honest goodness truth, after the last several days of card reveals, I think Druid is coming out of the gate really strong. So I think Druid and Rogue are both looking like they're going to be very healthy in this next expansion.
Okay.
So I hope that answers your question. I think Priest, Druid, and Rogue are all going to be very healthy.
Okay. Let's actually take that same question over to our guests. Cerberus, let's start with you. What are your thoughts on Priest and Rogue from what you've seen so far going into Mean Streets?
From what I've seen so far, I think Priest is going to be like they've said previously. I think that Priest is going to be rather healthy. I'm really looking forward to see how I haven't actually had a chance to look at all of the cards that have been released so far, but from what I've seen, it looks like Priest is going to be rather healthy in this particular meta coming up.
Okay. Sabertooth, what you got?
I agree. I think Priest is definitely getting some good removal, and that was probably what they needed, especially the board clear they got, the Dragon Potion. I forget the name of it exactly, but the does 5 to everything. Mm-hmm. That's a really good card. But I'm not huge on the Legendary. I don't think the Legendary is that good in its class, but I think Priest will be stronger, for sure.
Okay. Well, there you go, Miles. Now, to get to your second question, I'm going to turn it over to Versika on what happened with the blog post, sir.
All right, so we're not doing away with the blog post, and this is one area of our podcast that falls mostly on my shoulders. And while I'm not making excuses, as most of you know, I had some health concerns earlier in the year. Since coming back to work, my position actually changed. So instead of having a super stressful desk job, I now have a super stressful and super physically demanding floor job. So by the time I get home, I'm usually so wiped out that I just want to relax and I just kind of want to play. So part of that is just me trying to get acclimated to my new work environment. And then part of it is that Legion came out very good. Overwatch has done some great things. Heroes of the Storm has done some great things. take into account that, I'm still actively trying to make my way through all of the classes in the Hearthstone meta so that regardless of which class we play, I feel like I have an understanding of what the class does well and what it doesn't do well. So by the time all those are done and by the time family is also given the attention that they need and deserve, the blog posts have kind of taken a back seat. That being said, thank you for noticing that they're not there. Thank you for reading the previous ones, and I will do better about making sure that there is at least a weekly blog post coming up.
Awesome. So there you go, Miles. Thank you again for your email.
I wanted to chime in real quick on the mention of wishing we did extra episodes. We do try to do extra content for our patrons. If you're a member of our Patreon group, you get access to our Facebook group, and we tend to post different types of reviews, or maybe we'll do an extra play session that we will load up for our patrons alone, and that's kind of where you can get some extra content. So if you just want to become a patron of our show, we'll definitely be having extra content on there. It is kind of streaky sometimes depending on our schedule. We do have times where we do fireside gatherings. Yeah, we do perform the duties of fireside gatherings and different events. So sometimes it's hard to do that extra content, but we do try to make sure that extra content gets pushed out to the patrons whenever we can do it.
So real quick before we move on to other subjects, Ducharmo in the chat room asked that we normally talk about which classes we think are going to be the most powerful coming into an expansion, but we don't normally talk about which classes we feel like are going to backslide or are the worst classes. So just right off the bat, I don't really know, looking at these new cards that have come out, I can't really get a good grasp on which class I feel like may be backsliding. And I think with this new expansion, the backslide is probably going to be the class that just doesn't get any real help, and not necessarily where they're going to be getting bad cards. Like, out of Karazhan, we kind of made fun of Purify for not really doing much to help the priest class, but from the releases that I've seen so far, most of the classes are getting help. So I think we probably won't really get a good grasp of which class is going to fall behind until the actual changeover to standard. Because I think that once standard hits, and I think you start to see Blackrock Mountain, League of Explorers, and Grand Tournament, and when you see those phase out and you see that shift in that meta, I think that's where you're really going to find some of these classes moving backwards. And honestly, I feel like, unfortunately for me, I feel like Shaman is going to be one of the classes that moves backwards because they're losing Totem Golem, which I think is a huge part of the Shaman early game right now. And I think Reno going out of the meta, I think, will greatly affect Warlock, and I also think I do think it will affect Mage. I think Reno Mage is strong right now. I think Tempo Mage is starting to slide a little bit, and I think that once this standard expansion, or once the standard changeover happens, and I think Tempo Mage and Reno Mage both lose out on that. So, I do, Ducharmo just talked about Grimy Goon's mechanic being the worst out of the three. I think Grimy Goon's mechanic is, I think it is adequately countered by the other two groups.
See, now you stole my thunder, because that's exactly what I was going to say, is that the Grimy Goons, I think, are the weakest of the three factions. And I really think, and we haven't had all the card reveals yet, but the reveals from this week from Jade Lotus, the Druid, Rogue, and Shaman cards are going to be very, very strong. Chimp, what do you think of the new set coming in? What kind of classes, without really going into cards specifically, what classes do you think are going to be good, and what classes do you think might suffer?
Well, just from the reveals that's happened this week, I think Druid probably gets the biggest of the buffs from everything that we've seen so far. Like, the cards that they revealed, I think, are just way more powerful. You can't really say way more powerful, but they're better.
Yeah, you can. You're like,
I mean, they're pretty powerful compared to what we've seen, especially when you compare it to Grimy Goons. Like, and I hate to say this, but I don't think Hunter or Paladin will suffer as much, but I think Warrior might a little bit because you're losing like the tempo version of Warrior, I think.
I agree.
Whereas like Control Warrior will still be fine, but you're losing an archetype in a class that's had several archetypes throughout the game's history so far. So,
Cerberus?
I would definitely agree with what Chimp said. I think that that you're definitely going to see some swings as far as that goes with your tempo Warrior. I don't think it's going to be as good. Control Warrior is not going to suffer as much, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how Hunter's going to make out in this. I'm an aggro player at heart, so with the addition of Knuckles and things like that, I'm really looking forward to seeing how that plays.
Cool. Well, actually, let's talk about you guys for just a little bit. So, I've been talking to you guys for quite a while now. You guys have really just come on the scene within the last 6 months, would you say?
Less than that.
It's
probably about
okay.
Probably about 2 months. Yeah.
Okay, so why don't you guys tell us a little bit about Tasteful Charades?
Well, when I started playing Hearthstone again, I took a little bit of a break about a year ago for like 6 months, and then about 6 months ago, I actually started playing again. And I enjoyed it a lot, and it was really fun. And then I started seeing these communities that were out there that were just, being able to talk to each other, and they were discussing cards, and I was like, well, I kind of want that. And I kind of wanted to, I thought that I was decent enough at Magic that I understood strategy enough that I could help out a little bit, and they could help me as well. And so I decided I'll just start a Facebook page, and we'll see where it goes from there. And then me and Cerberus got together, and we started doing more and more stuff, and we started growing, and we're trying to tie all of it together now. We're trying to make it something.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. So, whose idea was it to start the show?
It was my idea. I actually I started it with him. Like I asked him if he wanted to do a show with me, and then we'd see what happened after that, and he said yeah. So.
It was kind of more of a collaboration between the two of us. Not trying to steal any of his thunder at all, but it was his original idea to start the show and to do all that. But as you can tell by some of my dialogue, I've not been around Hearthstone a very long time. I played Hearthstone about a year ago, not enough to even say that I'd played. And over these past 2 months is where I've really started to try to get in touch with the communities and learn more about the Hearthstone play and how to play this. He's been my mentor even whenever we were playing Magic, so I give him all the credit for that. But yeah, I'm still learning the game, and I'm still trying to get better and trying to show a little bit of how you can progress through Hearthstone.
That's awesome. Yeah.
See now, Avantes, you need to take some notes here for him giving credit to who started him in Magic the Gathering. You are writing this down, right?
Yeah. So I will give you credit for giving me a really awful blue deck with Leviathans in it that I couldn't even play to get me started.
There were Murlocs in there. Come on now.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. And it's always good to have more people involved in the Hearthstone community. I do a little bit of innkeeping, so I actually get to, work with players and work with the community on a regular basis. And I love actually getting to see people evolve and see them get better and better at the game on a regular basis. That's, one of the other things that really drove us to start this show was, just our love and passion for the community. So that's awesome that you guys are doing that, and I'm really glad we could get you on the show this week.
Thank you, man.
Thanks. We're happy to be here.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's talk a little more about some Hearthstone. So we kind of touched on this a little bit with Miles' email, but last week they rolled out the last of the Kabal cards, And this week, we got to start seeing the Kabal. I see Zerotia shaking his head.
Oh my god, you were killing me too. I was trying not to say anything.
And this week, we're getting the Jade Lotus. Now, everybody was all up on the Kabal until they started rolling out the Jade Lotus stuff. And now it seems like everybody has just forgotten the Kabal exists.
Okay, so anyways.
Go ahead.
Team 5 basically said, hey, Druid players, I heard you like your ramp, bro. You want some ramp with your ramp, bro? Here's some ramp with your ramp, bro. And bro, I heard you like the ramp. So instead of ramping with spells to your big minions, you now ramp with your spells to little minions, which ramp with your big minions to ramp to bigger minions. Did you catch all that?
Something about ramping? I don't know. I lost you after the first ramp.
If you haven't been paying attention,
his eyes just glazed over.
If you haven't been paying attention, the kind of theme for the Jade Lotus is you have spells that summon a Jade Golem. Now, Jade Golem is just a 1-mana 1/1 token, but every time you summon another Jade Golem, it adds another power and toughness, so it becomes a 2-mana 2/2 token, then a 3-mana 3/3 token. And there are a lot of spells and minions that have various effects and also have the effect added to it, summon a Jade Golem. So that means by the time you get to your ramp turns where you have 8 mana at turn 5 or 6, you could also be bringing out your big Ragnaroses as well as having 6, 6, 7, 7 Jade Golems on the board. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Desharmo in chat basically got it right. It's token druid on steroids, and I think this is going to really, really push them because druid does a good job of buffing their minions anyway. This just gives them another buff. Versiki, you looked like you were about to say something.
I'm just saying that at this point, I think the thing that I've been the most just amazed by is the fact that you don't ever have to be fatigued again as a druid. Like at this point, if you're fatigued as a druid, it's your own fault.
And are you talking about specifically the Jade Idol? Or
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Jade Idol, if you missed it this week, is a 1-mana choose 1 card, and it's choose to add 3 copies of this card to your deck, or create a Jade Golem. So
1 mana outvalue your opponent.
Yeah, 1 mana outvalue your opponent. It's absolutely insane if you think about using it in conjunction with like Fandral. If you wait until you get Fandral and 2 of those cards in your hand, now you're adding like 6 more to your deck, and it's
tokens.
Rip Fatigue Warrior. You know, I mean, it's crazy.
Matt at Arms in chat said 1 card win condition, and I agree. I think it may be the most powerful card I've seen in Hearthstone.
Yeah, it's really good.
Do you think this may bring out a fatigue controlled druid?
I absolutely think it'll be a fatigue controlled druid. I think you're going to see a lot of mill druid come back.
Is there enough removal to allow for a fatigue druid, or will it be more like a tempo where you're just using your minions and your Jade Golems as removal?
Mulch is coming out, but I mean, now Naturalize is going to be a thing. You want them to draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
So absolutely, I think removal will not be a problem for druid.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's something you're going to see pretty regularly on the ladder. So
now, also to clarify, this Jade Golem mechanic also spells into Shaman and Rogue.
Yes.
And Shaman got a couple powerful cards. So again, we're not going to go over each card, but there are some powerful tools in Shaman and Rogue that do summon Jade Golem. So you're not just going to see this in Druid. And that's one thing I like that Team 5 did this time, is instead of putting out mechanics that may only make one class powerful, they've kind of spread the love. So if we do have a powerful class, it's going to be spread between 3 classes. If we do have a weak class, it's probably going to be spread between 3 classes. And I like that.
Yeah. So Chimp, what are your thoughts on the Jade Lotus thus far?
I think that those cards are insanely powerful, and like we said before, like the backslides of classes are what you're going to see from these cards, because again, Warrior's not really getting a lot. So with Druid becoming more powerful, that's probably going to push out your Control Warrior, which would probably take a huge hit to just the Warrior class itself. So I think these cards are definitely defining a meta, and I think that may be what you want to see from the cards that you get, which is, I like them. I think they're all really, really powerful and they're really good. So
okay. Cerberus, do you have any?
Yeah, I posted about this on Twitter today, and going off of what Versika said, if mill is not going to be an option for a Druid player anymore. You're not going to have that. You're not going to have that mill. You're not going to be able to be milled as easy. I'll put it that way. If you play your cards correctly with the Jade Idol, and I think that card is just like he said, one of the most powerful cards in Hearthstone right now.
Yeah, I agree. It'll be a lot of fun to see how it plays when it comes out.
Now, staying on that topic, do we think this raises the Raven Idol value, since now you could possibly get another Jade Idol, which equals 3 more cards? Well, an infinite amount of cards.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
So do you think two of Raven Idol, 2 of Jade Idol is pretty much going to be standard?
If you're playing Fandral, yeah,
yeah,
I mean, you have to.
But that's only going to be for a few months, because Raven Idol will go out in spring.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think that this card is good enough? Like, and instead of you going like the fatigue route or the mill route, like the way that I pictured this, which again in that sense too, but I also picture it with like Violet Teacher and like being able to do the Power of the Wild combo with your golems. Like, imagine getting a 6/6 and then getting a 1/1 and then playing Power of the Wild and having 2 2/2s and a 4/6 and then an 8/8 like in one turn. It's not. I mean, it's that to me, Token Druid gets a bigger buff than almost Mill Druid.
Yeah, I think I really think Ramp Druid I guess you can call Token Druid Ramp Druid as well. It's pretty much one and the same, but
right.
I think Token Druid is going to benefit this. I'm wondering if they didn't intend this to kind of be a Raven Idol replacement, because it does generate additional spells, which also empowers. It has good synergy with Fandral. It empowers the Violet Teacher. It empowers the Arcane Golem. Maybe this was intended to replace Raven Idol going out.
That's a good possibility. And Matt at Arms in chat actually says in that deck list you really only need 1 Jade Idol, because you play it, add 3 more, and then you can start doing shenanigans off of just a single one.
Yeah,
truthfully, you only need 1, but you're going to play with 2 because you want to raise the chance of getting it. I mean, that's what I'm going to do.
I think just from what I've seen, I'm not 100% positive that Team 5 is happy with Druid. In fact, I think they're not happy with the current state of Druid. I think just looking at Druid, it is so combo based. It is so one hit, one turn defining the Druid game, and I think they want to get away from that. I think they want to try and stretch Druid out over the course of an entire game where every turn matters.
Yeah,
I think if you're trying to use Jade Idol as a replacement, then I think you're doing exactly what they don't want you to do. So I think they're hoping that 1 Jade Idol will be used to send copies back in the deck. The other one will increase your chances of getting that first Jade Golem out. I think also you're going to start to see you're going to start to see Defender of Argus being used more. You're going to start seeing some Fury Protector, because I think you're going to be able to put out multiple idols in a turn and then taunt them up. And I think that it's going to be I think Token Druid is going to be back to kind of where it was back when we had the Haunted Creeper and you were sending them out early and taunting up those 2/2s and 3/3s to stem that early game aggro and stabilize earlier, rather than the Druid being behind until turn 6 and then fighting back in with 1 gigantic control turn or 1 gigantic 30 points of damage turn.
Okay, well, again, I'm going to have to disagree with you and agree with you as per the norm. I do believe that they want to get away from this 1 turn kill of Druid. I mean, obviously the nerf of Force of Nature driving that. They don't really like the way Malagos Druid plays, and I think having this card in place of Raven Idol when it phases out, Raven Idol can get you more burn, which increases that possibility of a one-turn kill with Malagos. The new idol, the Jade Idol, does not give you any kind of burn. It just gives you more tempo in the form of minions on the board. And given the amount of area of effect spells and removal that they're putting out this set, I really think they are wanting you to do this huge big wall of minion board flood mid to late game, so your opponent has to react to it or they lose. So I think they are cognitive of that being bad in the game, of that big one-turn kill, but at the same time, I think that this is a good I think Raven Idol was a great idea, but I think it was just overpowered for what it did, the amount of randomness it gave you, where this card pretty much just adds to your ramp to put more minions on the board. And I think that's a smarter way to go than Raven Idol was. I think it's a good design.
All right, so I've got a real quick question for our guest, and I'm going to start with Cerberus. So were you in Hearthstone when Big Game Hunter was at its originally casting cost of 3?
No.
All right, so you've only ever seen a 5 casting cost Big Game Hunter.
Correct, yes.
How many decks have you actually put that in?
0.
All right, so now with the new Jade Golem synergy coming out, do you think that Big Game Hunter will find a way into your decks?
I think it could possibly find a way back into it. To be honest, I mean, it's going to be kind of a touch and go. Try to figure out what really goes well with the Jade Idol and the Jade Golems and things like that. But I see that it definitely being a one of.
All right, what about you, Chimp?
I think I want to know just how good these Jade cards are, because at the same time we're hyping this up and they do look super powerful. This deck could be really slow, and a lot of times decks that are really slow like this that take a while to set up, like they can fall to easy board removal anyway. So if you're looking at Shaman getting weaker after the rotation, it just makes Control Shaman better in my opinion, because they still have some of the best removal in the game. So at the same time, we're looking at, like, are we going to play like a one of card that could knock out a big golem, or are we just going to play the better removals and just make sure they don't get the early game, and even if they make that one big golem, you still kill them anyways? So probably not. I probably won't play Big Game Hunter.
Cool. And to answer Let's Surf in chat, I don't believe you can silence them.
No, because they're just vanilla tokens that,
Right.
and every time you play a card, it summons another one and another one and another one. So it's not the same minion. So.
And I think that they will work towards Arcane Golem, right? Not Sea Giant, or not. Not Sea Giant.
Well, yeah, they work towards Sea Giant, because Sea Giants, how many minions are in play?
What am I thinking of?
Arcane Golems, the spell itself. Now,
No.
if a spell summons the Jade Golem, then it will work toward Arcane Golem.
Right, so the idol will.
Yes, the idol.
The idol
will trigger the Arcane Golem.
So you can cast those successive idols, and then of course summon the
Arcane
idols
Golem.
to
Yes.
then get big golems, and then bring out 2 Arcane Golems. Yes.
Golem
So you're-
deck.
You need to have 6 big game hunters in
Questing rogue or questing druid. There you go.
Yeah, there you
questing druid. That's exactly. You know what? That's exactly what it is. It's a form of questing. Each time you do a certain effect, it gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
It's just not restricted to one minion.
go. Right. Yeah, that's
All right.
exactly it. So, all right. Let's talk for a minute. Let's look into our crystal ball, and when do we think we're going to get a release date? Because all Blizzard has said thus far is early December. Now, I know we kind of talked about this briefly on our show a couple weeks ago, but let's retouch. Zeroshio, what is your expected release date?
I expected December 6th. I want it on November 29th. And I think with the release schedule they're doing now, they can do it November the 29th. Now, it is not unheard of for Blizzard to work on odd days of the week. So we could see this. I would love it if they did it December 1st on the first day of the month. Everything's wiped clean. It's a new season. And let's get on the ladder and go crazy.
It's the first of the month. All right, Versika.
I think it's going to be December 5th. And the reason why I don't think it's going to be the first is because I don't think they want to work on the weekends during the holiday season. And as you guys all know, anytime you release new content, there's always the chance of bugs. There's always the chance of things that go wrong when it hits the live environment that you couldn't account for in the controlled environment of the testing. So as much as I would like to have it on the first, and I would really like to have it on the first, I think realistically we're probably looking at the 5th or the 6th.
Okay. Cerberus?
The sooner the better. I'm just ready for a new set. I'm thinking most likely it would be really cool, like Zero said, to have it at the first of the month, to get it out there. It would start fresh with a new season, but I'm looking more toward the first of that second week, either the 5th or the 6th.
Okay, and Chimp, what are your predictions?
I agree. I think probably the 5th or the 6th is when we'll get it. I'd like to see it as early as the 24th, but that's probably not going to happen.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, can we get it tomorrow? That would be...
Now, as a reminder for this, they have been doing releases of all the different cards for each of the different factions. They do a little, if you go to GadgetZan.com, at the very bottom there's a little ticker, and you can click the endorse, and it adds some percentage to that each day. So you have to go back every day. If that does not fill up by the end of the week, they will not release the big legendary for that faction.
That's right.
They did not do it for Cabal.
So go vote.
It was supposed to be the Warlock legendary, and they did not release it because they did not hit 100%. So please, 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 if you want to know more about Jade Lotus, go
I want to talk
vote.
about that too, Zerosho, because I saw in some of the other groups I'm in, I saw some people post, oh, well, it doesn't matter if we click the button or not. What's Blizzard going to do? Not release the card? Take it out of the set? Blah, 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 blah.
And
I actually want to talk because I got a email from a Blizzard employee in my capacity as innkeeper stating, guys, reach out to your communities. Get them to go vote. It's very, very important. Blizzard is looking for these interactions. Go vote.
And for the first week with the Grimy Goons, they ended that vote the end of Friday, which I think it was about 5 p.m. Pacific time. For the Cabal, they pushed that out into Saturday, and it still did not reach the goal, so they didn't release it. Now, the Jade Lotus one is pushed out to that time in Saturday like they did with the Cabal. So they even gave like a full day to do the voting, and it came up short. I think for that last bar, it got up to like 65%, and that was it.
Yeah. So it's, if you guys want to see these cards, get out there and vote. That's all I can say. All right. That brings us to this week's Tavern Brawl, which is a new Tavern Brawl. Woohoo!
A good new Tavern Brawl.
It's a very RNG Tavern Brawl. So this week's Tavern Brawl is called Valeera's Bag of Burgled Spells. Valeera has stolen spells from every deck. Each of those spells will summon a random minion of the same cost when played. So basically, you are Valeera, so everybody plays Rogue, and every card in your deck is a spell from every class. From what I can tell, every spell in the game is fair play.
Yep.
Some of them are going to be completely worthless, like Mirror Entity. You can't copy a summoned minion if your opponent has no minions.
That's not true.
Well,
I had a Mirror Entity played on me because
back.
I cast Echo of Medivh, and when I brought the minion back out, it got Mirror
triggers.
Entity.
Yeah, but There are no minions in the deck, so you have to find a way to put a minion in their hand for it to be effective.
Yes.
Okay, so
Sap works.
Sap works. So obviously, Zeroshio, you've played it this week. Thoughts?
Mm-hmm. I like it. Again, I like the randomness. We've seen a similar version of this before where you pick a class and you get nothing but spells and your spells summon minions. But this is the only one that everybody is the exact same class, so you have the exact same hero power, which fortunately has a weapon, so the warrior spells don't go to waste. And you get any of the minions in the game from every single class. It's really, really cool. I think this might be testing out some of their cross-class spell interactions and minion interactions with classes that they don't belong to, getting ready for the rollout release of Mean Streets of Gadget Sand. I really liked it. I had a lot of fun. Summoning Portal is broken when you get it off of your spell. You pretty much win the tempo race and you win every time.
Okay. Versika?
Well, even though it's RNG, heavily RNG based, I actually had a good time. I haven't lost yet. I'm about 12 games in. It's fun because your opponent is dealing with the same RNG elements that you're dealing with. And I feel like maybe they finally figured out how to kind of balance that. So, I don't know. We'll see. Okay. I'll probably play it a few more times. But, a couple of things to note. Like Matt at Arms in chat said, if you have a board clear, especially like a Brawl or a Twisting Nether, it will summon your minion before the clear occurs. So those are important interactions to note. I had a good time with it, and I had a mirror entity, played Sap, and played it again. It was great. I loved it.
All right, Champ, have
Vanish
you gotten to
is
do it?
amazing.
Yeah, I actually just did it right before we came on the air.
All right, what are your thoughts?
It's pretty fun. It's definitely. I only got to play it once, so you definitely get the randomness out of it, like they said, and it's I don't know. You have to really feel out like what your opponent's gonna do too, and you just gotta kind of hope a little bit as well, because if you just play like a 4-drop and then get a 1/4 or something, then you're just kind of like, well, that's not as good as his 6/6. So, but at the same time, if you just play your spells in the correct order, because like he said, it does summon the minions before you play the spell. So before the spell actually resolves. So
right,
but,
yeah. I learned that the hard way when I cast Doom. So, Cerberus, what about you?
I honestly, I don't like it because it's so heavily RNG based. I like to know what I'm playing, know what I've got on board, know what I have to do to win. I don't like the heavily RNG based, although it is very unique, especially with all the cross class cards. I guess that's triple C's. That's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, the cross classes and things like that. It's neat to see the interaction between those classes and how those react to the different cards. But it being so heavily RNG based, I really didn't care for it.
Okay.
So, but Zeroshio, did you have Mexican before?
That I had my mic muted when I did that, so that wasn't me.
Chris,
I mean, if I would have done that. But no, I did have a lot of dairy though.
So which one of you lives right beside the airport?
The only other thing I think of is Godzilla. So.
Right, yeah.
I mean.
All right. So let's talk about this week's deck. So when we reached out to Chimp and Cerberus, we were like, all right, guys, you're going to come on the show. You got to play a deck. What do you want to play? And Chimp was just like, oh, there's this great Paladin deck list with Murlocs and Anyfin, and it's so much fun. And I'm like, oh, yes, finally. Because I actually got to looking back. I don't think we've done an Anyfin deck yet. So I'm excited about this deck list. So I'm going to run down the deck list for the listeners, and then I'll pitch it over to Chimp, since he's going to be piloting tonight, and just kind of let him tell us a little bit about how the deck works. So the deck list consists of 1 Forbidden Healing, 2 Bluegill Warrior, 2 Doomsayer, 2 Equality, 2 Loot Hoarder, 2 Wild Pyromancer, 2 Acolyte of Pain, 2 Aldor Peacekeeper, 2 Murloc War Leaders, Barns, 2 Consecrations, 2 True Silver Champs, 2 Solemn Vigils, 2 Ivory Knights, Ragnaros Lightlord, Tyrion Fordring, and of course, 2 Anyfin can happen. So, Chimp, tell us a little bit about how this deck works.
Well, it's obviously a combo deck where you just want to be able to play your cards on curve with like Bluegill Warriors and your Murloc War Leaders. You once you get them in play and they die, your win condition is pretty much anything can happen. But in between those two things, you have a lot of draw potential with like Loot Hoarder, Acolyte of Pain. Those 2 cards are pretty key. Getting them earlier is better because you just want to draw more cards. You want to have more cards in your hand than your opponent probably at all times. The harder matchups come from when you play like aggressive decks. Doomsayer is really key in those decks because you want to be able to get the most value out of it, but at the same time you want to play it early. You do have some pretty good removal in like your Pyro X. Like being able to wipe the entire board with 2 cards is pretty good because you're pretty much getting a 2-for-1 value most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to stall your opponent out with like Aldor Peacekeepers and Consecrations and being able to remove minions with your weapons is solid. And there's a lot of life gain in the deck, so when you get in those mid-range battles with your Shamans and your Tempo Mages, you can generally be able to not only just remove their minions that are on board with your pretty solid removal, but at the same time you're gaining life with Ivory Knights, the 1 Forbidden Healing, and your Ragnaros Lightlord. But it also plays panic buttons like Tyrion Fordring and Ragnaros Lightlord, which is pretty good. So those 2 cards are pretty valuable. They can actually win games by themselves if you don't get to the Anyfin. But when you win the game, basically the first Anyfin is just a board removal. You basically want to just take care of whatever they play, and it's the second Anyfin that basically just wins the game. So
Gotcha. Okay. So when you are opening hand, let's talk opening hand. What's your ideal opening hand, or what are you mulliganing for?
a lot of times it depends on the matchups. I think if I get paired with like an aggressive deck, like if I'm playing against a hunter and I'm assuming it's probably Secret Hunter, I want to keep cards that allow me to trade and draw. Like I like my Loot Hoarders in that, and I like Bluegill Warrior because at the same time, if they play like Fiery Bat, I'm able to just trade with their minions. And I like Acolyte of Pains in my opening hand. I like to be able to have a board presence early with this deck because you want to be able to trade your minions and still draw cards, so Acolyte's really good. A True Silver Champion, Consecration, those are good cards in your opening hand against minion-heavy decks. Against control decks, again, I like to keep cards that draw cards. Acolyte of Pain is really good against your control decks. You just want to draw more cards than your opponent. Loot Hoarder is pretty good because you just want to draw more cards than your opponent. Solemn Vigil is decent. Again, I'm not the biggest Solemn Vigil fan, but it's in here because once you play Doomsayer and you get it for free, you'll never get that value again, and you just like, well, I have to play it now. So those cards are really good. You obviously want like your curve to work out, so you want like a pretty good 2-drop and a solid 4-drop probably. Your 3-drops are they're iffy and they're not the best 3-drops, so it's not the best curve. You a lot of times end up floating mana on turns 3 and turns 5. A lot of times because you're just going to play a 4-drop on turn 5. You're probably going to play a 2-drop on turn 3. But other than that, like your hands are just pretty much based on what you're playing. But a lot of times my perfect hand, I like having like Loot Hoarder, Acolyte of Pain, and a True Silver Champion. That's probably like one of my favorite hands.
Okay, awesome. Zero, Versika, do either of you guys have questions for Chimp about this deck?
I do. I play heavy control a lot, and I get matched up against this quite a bit. And usually my play is to absorb that first run, do the best I can to kind of keep myself out of range, and exhaust their second Anyfin. And if I can get past second Anyfin, I feel usually that I've won the game. But there has been on some occasions that the Ivory Knight has allowed them to pick up another Anyfin.
It's pretty good.
What are your thoughts on that? Because I know that if you're, say, at 30 health already and they haven't really, you're playing against a control deck and you're probably not going to get a lot of damage, they don't know what card you got because the healing won't show if you're at max health.
Right. Even if you're like at 26, they still probably don't know what card you got if you maxed out. So, Ivory Knight is one of the stronger cards in this deck. Like, against even the aggro decks itself because of just the life gain and the sheer body that you get. Because a lot of times when you're gaining life, you're not actually getting you're losing tempo because you're just going to gain the life and then you're not going to get the minion on the board. But with this card, you're able to do both. You gain the life, you get the minion, and it also draws you a card. So it's super powerful in a sense that it doesn't slow you down against the aggro decks. But against control decks, it's super hard to play around because you don't know what card they got. Like, there's a ton of cards that you can get off of Paladin spells, and a lot of them are really good. So I don't know, but a lot of them are dead too against control decks. Like, a lot of times you'll end up with like Eye for an Eye or Repetence or something, and you just look at it like, well, this is not really good in this situation, and I'm really not, or Lay on Hands or something, and you're just kind of like, well, I'm probably not going to win this game unless I can get both Anyfins to work. So the odds of you actually getting Anyfin is super low anyways. You rarely ever see that happen, and when it does, it's awesome because then when they think they beat you because you got through that second Anyfin and you throw the third one down, they're super surprised and their guard's kind of down, and you're just like, well, I definitely win the game now. But
yeah, I lost those games, just to be clear. That was both with Control Warrior and Control Priest. The thing with the Control Priest that got me is I've actually lost it in two different ways. The third Anyfin came out and I wasn't prepared for it. And then there was another game that I actually was able to entune their key cards, and their Anyfin really couldn't do anything to me. So they wore me down, but I knew I was out of range. Well, then they Ivory Knighted, and I can't remember the name of the card. The 5 mana that you draw a card, or whatever the mana is.
Holy Wrath.
Holy Wrath. They Holy Wrath me for 10 because they drew the Ivory Knight. I was like, sure enough, they figured out a way to kill me with Ivory Knight with Anyfin, even though they were summoning no Murlocs to kill me. So. Yeah, it feels bad, bro.
This is one of those decks when you lose to it definitely feels bad. Like, because there's a lot of times there's nothing you can do about it. Like, the first Anyfin usually sets up the second one pretty well, and if you have them both in your hand and you're looking across the board and he's not a warrior, you're like, well, I've got him. And because warriors are a little bit trickier, you just have to kind of grind them out a little bit. A lot of times you don't cast it against a warrior until you get to fatigue. Like, you never cast the first Anyfin until you get to fatigue.
Okay.
Well, I want to take this moment to point out that I was the only one of our group that said Ivory Knight was going to be good.
Oh, we are never, ever, ever going to let this down, are we?
No.
Ivory Knight is, like, super impressive. It's awesome.
You guys fought me tooth and nail on it. I had to, like, put it all out there, and even then you laughed at me.
See, Rosicky, you don't hear me all the time talking about my Pirates versus Ninja prediction, do you? Wait.
Every day.
Everybody, moving on.
All right, guys. Well, I'm excited. I'm ready to see this deck in action. So before we wrap up, let's take a moment and talk about any last thoughts we might have about what we've talked about today, Versika.
Well, first of all, I am super thrilled that there is another podcast out there that has a Southern drawl. I love that Sabertooth has a UT shirt on, so double bonus.
Go Vols.
Go Vols. But no, seriously, guys, I know Cerberus streams. I checked out his stream earlier. It's either earlier this week or late last week. And really enjoyed it. Super informative. So definitely give them a follow and check them out. It's worth the look.
Okay, Zero.
I just want to parrot the appreciation that Tasteful Charades is putting out the content they are. I concede to the beard game. I have lost, and I'm okay with that. A close second is fine.
Which, by the way, not to interrupt you yet again, but chat.
No, we were so close.
If you
So
notice,
close.
there are 4 beards in these 5 windows.
So close to the end of the show.
One of these things do not look like the other.
There needs to be an Avanti's beard, even if it's fake.
Yeah. All right.
Patron goal. If we get to a certain number of patrons, we will make Avanti's grow a beard.
We'll glue one to his face.
However pathetic that beard is, but we will make him grow one.
That might be the $200 goal.
A reminder for our patron goal. We're really pushing for that $100 mark so we can give the top end prizes that we want to give. The minimum prizes we want to give for our tournament starting in January. So if you want to get into these quarterly tournaments that we're going to do every 3 months, we're going to do one every 3 months, and then on the fourth tournament of the year is going to be like a championship. All you got to do is get into our patron group over at patreon.com/heropower, and minimum donation of $5 a month, and
guarantees
there
you a
are
spot
cash
in the tournament.
Guarantees you a spot in tournament, and we will have cash prizes at each one of our patron tournaments.
That's right.
So please, it's worth it. There are other podcasts that have done this, have been successful. I've actually won a couple myself, and just attesting to that, it is totally worth it.
These events, all these tournaments will be live streamed and will be shoutcasted by Zeroshio and Versika. So come out, join us, have some fun. We're already 65% towards our goal. So guys, it doesn't take much to get us there. If you've been on the fence about joining our Patreon, not only do you get an automatic seat at the tournament, you get into our Discord, which is pretty active. You get into our secret Facebook group, where you get sneak peeks of what's coming up on the show each week. Lot of value. Plus, like Zeroshio said earlier in the show, you get all those bonus videos that we do release occasionally. So we feel like we're trying to give you guys the best value for your money, and we hope we're doing so. All right. With that said, guys, that's going to do it. If you're joining us
real quick.
You always do that to me.
Yeah, real quick. Can we get our buddy Cerberus and Chimp to pimp their ride a little bit and let our audio listeners at least know?
Tell us where they find you.
Where they can find your show, all that stuff.
Sure. You can actually go on to Facebook, because where we post a lot of our content. We post a lot of it to Facebook. And it's Tasteful Charades is the page that you look for. You can find us on YouTube by searching for that. We haven't been around long enough on our YouTube to get our own custom URL, but you can search for us by Tasteful Charades, and you will pull us up there. As well as I have a Twitch channel I haven't been very active with. We've been mostly active on our YouTube channel so far, but I look forward to getting that started up as well. And just Facebook generally is where you can get us started at, and you can locate us from anywhere throughout.
If there's a search engine, type in Tasteful Charades, and we will appear.
Awesome. Doesn't get any easier than that, does it?
No.
All right.
Exactly right.
Zeroshio, may
I? Yes, you may.
Okay.
So, my turn to interrupt you. Hold on a second. So, I got to think. I got to think. So, when we're doing these tournaments, we're going to have a grand finals next November. So, next November, what would you guys say about coming down and helping Zeroshio and I cast some of these events as we stream them live? Coming down to Knoxville, we're going to have a location set up where we can, if you're in the area, you can come and play locally at the LAN event. But regardless, we're going to be at Level Up Games and Hobbies in Knoxville, and we're going to be shoutcasting the matches there and streaming them out. Would you guys be interested in coming down and shoutcasting with us, and maybe instead of just streaming out one match, we can stream out two?
Maybe they want to play.
If they don't want to play.
If they don't want to
become a patron.
Absolutely. I'd be definitely down for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
All right.
So
we'll make it happen.
We'll plan on it. Absolutely.
If you are joining us on Twitch or YouTube, please stay tuned for the live play portion of our show. If you are listening via the audio podcast, we'd like to thank you for joining us and remind you that you can follow us on Twitter at HeroPower_cast, and you can find all of our past episodes on YouTube at youtube.com/ECMMOGamers. If you enjoy the show, you would like to help to support and improve it, you can do so by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/HeroPower. It will also, being a patron, get you into the tournaments that Zeroshio was talking about. So for more information, you can find it there on patreon.com/HeroPower. As always, guys, we'll see you again next week.
And don't forget to use your hero power.
Alrighty. So, Versika, while we set this up, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little more about Viforce?
All right, so it's at the top of the show, we talked about the Element and how it was a great introductory computer. But let's say that you know exactly what you want. You know exactly what you're going to play, and you know exactly what you need to get there. Go to HeroPowerHS.com, click on the Viforce link, go to the products page, or just go to ViforceGaming.com, click on the products page. On the products page, you're going to see 4 machines. In those 4 machines, each machine is going to have 3 tabs. One will have overview, one will have internals, one will have games. If you know what you want technically, from a technical standpoint, you know the specs you want, click on the internals tab of the machine that you're interested in. If you know what games that you want to play with that machine, go to the games tab, and it will tell you the recommended games on high settings. So Viforce wants you to be able to play your games on the settings that make them look the best possible for that machine. So you can go on any of the machines, click on games, it'll tell you what games you can play on high. You're not going to find that anywhere else. So if you get in there, you find one of these computers, it's what you want, but let's say it's missing just one little element. You can go to either build a PC, send in the changes you want to make, or you just click on the Contact Us page, send them an email, let them know, hey, I like the Vector, but I'd really like to have this graphics card in it. They'll get back to you, let you know how they're going to make that happen. So once again, that's ViforceGaming.com, or you can go to HeroPowerHS.com, click on the link, it'll take you right there.
All right. So, Chimp, are you ready to rock and roll?
I am.
All right. Go ahead and queue up for a match and let me know when you're ready, and I will spectate you.
All right.
So I'm excited. Like I said, I've been waiting to see this deck in action for a while now. So I'm a big fan of Anyfin.
I love Paladin cards. I think that they're just tier 2 right now, so that's the only problem with them.
Yeah.
But only because tier 2 or tier 1 is really strong. That's the reason.
Yeah,
Not
Paladin
that these
was
cards.
my first, my second golden hero.
All right. So it looks like we got Rogue first.
Listen, this guy talking about golden heroes and stuff. I even
That
got
was my
one.
first golden hero. Yeah, it was Paladin, then Warlock, Druid, then Priest.
You got to remember, though, Zeroshio plays when he's laying in bed. He plays when he's sitting in his chair. He plays when he's sitting on the pot. I mean, it's not hard to get a golden hero when you're always playing.
Effective
Right.
toilet time is what they call it.
All right. So, it looks like you have a Murloc War Leader, a Loot Hoarder, and an Equality as your opening hand.
Right. And I actually pitched back a Doomsayer and a Forbidden Healing. Forbidden Healing is more of a late game card in this deck, and your Doomsayer is probably not going to be useful against the Rogue class because they're not going to put a lot of pressure in the early game. Loot Hoarder is pretty good because it's one of our early minions that can do a lot of damage, and we can draw a card if he decides to weapon up and kill it. So
Okay. And you just drew into True Silver Champion, so that's good.
right, it's pretty decent. I pretty much just go into Loot Hoarder here,
Okay.
and just try to play on curve.
Okay.
Expecting it not to make it out of this turn.
So he is going to just weapon up and kill the Loot Hoarder for his turn 2 play, which draws us a Wild Pyromancer. Excellent. And back-to-back Wild Pyromancers. Not excellent.
Not too good.
So on curve, stay with the
Right.
war leader.
Yeah. We pretty much just continue on curve.
And you pretty much put him out just to die, right?
Yeah, his only if he gets a hit in, that's great. But most of the time, he's just gonna eat like an SI7 agent and a weapon maybe, and then or like a Felnos, backstab, any sort of combination, Shadow Strike. But if he eats a card, that's great. But if he gets a hit in, it's even better.
Okay, so he's gonna burgle, staying on curve.
Shadow Strike.
Uh-oh.
Looks like this.
Nope.
Phantom
Phantom
Knives.
Knives. All right.
He's just drawing. That's what he's doing.
I wonder if
Right.
this is. I wonder if this is a
Ooh.
fatigue rogue.
He hovered a card out. I think you missequenced and should have backstabbed first.
Right.
I think he missed his backstab sequence.
Well,
I think he did as well.
Probably good for us.
Because he hovered a card out at 0 mana after that, and it would have to be backstab.
So now we're
Unless he has the second prep
yeah, that's
Maybe.
possible.
or eviscerate.
So we're looking at turn 4. He has nothing on the board. What are you thinking about here, Chimp?
Well, before the meta got like super shaman oppressive, I probably equipped my weapon here because it's just right on curve and it saves me mana for my next turn. But unfortunately, Acidic Swampooze and Harrison Jones are floating around, and I'm not really in a position where I need to equip my weapon. So I probably just hero power and attack here. That's probably my lines of play.
Okay.
Equipping the weapon is super risky, just in case. Like I know it's turn 4 and he can't cast a Harrison, but on the off chance he's playing Acidic Swampooze, I get eat just because Shaman's really good against most, like especially Rogue right now. So I probably just attack and hero power here, and make him be reactive to me. The card that he could have had in his hand was Eviscerate as well. Well, no, he had 0 mana, so he would have to prep it out again. So.
Okay.
I'll remind that our chat is just the greatest in the world.
our
If you're
chat
not
room is
watching
very
this
active,
live,
yeah.
then you're missing out.
All right, so turn 4 for him is Undercity Huckster coin into the SI7 agent to remove our minion.
So I think now's probably a pretty good time to equip the weapon and just bash into the 3/3.
Okay.
I mean, there's always. Go ahead.
Since you have the healing, do you think it would be okay to wait 1 turn and then Wild Pyro Consecrate next turn? That would give you a board wipe, and you're only going to take 5.
Right.
You have the healing from the True Silver, and then you have the healing from the Ivory Knight.
Yeah, every night.
That can put you back up.
What about just trotting the Doomsayer out as a basically a taunt minion to eat maybe some removal?
Yeah, that's a line that I was thinking about as well. Doomsayer's not. I don't think it's terrible here.
I like it.
Okay.
I do too as well.
See, I think if I'm the rogue here, I just let all of it die and just hit you in the face.
Right.
Yeah.
Which would work too, because then we're getting a clear board because he's not going to trot anything else out. So he is going to burgle.
Yeah, I think he's just going to let it go.
Nope.
Oh,
no,
maybe not.
no.
Nope. He is going to clear it.
He burgled into an answer. Well, we know the Van Cleef is still in his deck.
I think that's what we save the Aldor for.
Right. Yeah, the Aldor is definitely a Van Cleef or like a Tomb Pillager maybe, if I feel pressured.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see any reason if we're not going to equip the weapon last turn, we're not going to equip it this turn. So I really don't see any reason to play anything else except just like hero power and go face.
What about the Ivory? No.
No.
I think I like hitting him for 1 with the with the Knight, and then Wild Pyro Consecrate to clear the board.
Well,
The
if
only
we're going to
problem
do that, we could run the Silverhand Recruit into the 3/3
Right.
and then just Consecrate and then make another dude.
That's
Because
true,
Pyro
too.
X really good against Conceal, just in case he plays like a really big
Yeah,
minion in like a Gadget Zen or something.
Yeah.
So,
Either we leave a 1/1 or a 3/1.
right.
Really.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of forcing him to use that as a weapon charge, or even getting to hit him for 3 next turn.
And he might with the Silverhand Recruit out.
I don't think so. I think if I'm that rogue, I'm ignoring that recruit because you've
Ducharmo-
proven that you're not playing Blessing of Kings.
Yeah, Ducharmo in chat says, you can use your health because you won't need to heal too awful much. And Let Surf says, just go ahead and play the weapon, and use it for board clear.
Well, I think he's right now that the Tomb Pillager's out because in this matchup, True Silver Champion's perfect for Tomb Pillager.
right.
It lines right up.
Mm-hmm.
We could Aldor it to reduce the damage, but we have the healing.
Yeah, I
And-
like saving Aldor for something like Edwin Van Cleef.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I think saving it for Van Cleef would be perfect.
Because if you get a huge Edwin, then by all means, that's your
Yeah.
that is your baby right there. Takes
I mean,
your
that's
Edwin
the
right off
win
bat.
condition right there.
Right.
Like, the only thing that I'm afraid of is like an Emperor on this turn, and like him going into something like Malagos, and then just comboing off. But he's playing Ethereal Peddler, so maybe not.
He's probably not going to Malagos if he's playing Burgle.
Right, that's probably true.
Yeah, I don't think it's the Malagos lineup. There's the first Anyfin.
Which we only have a dead war leader at the moment. We've not seen any of the others.
Well, I kind of think about running Ivory Knight out here, but
Do we hit that 5/6 at all to take some damage on it? Do we have to worry about weapon removal?
Well, even if they remove the weapon, if it's Harrison, you're only going to draw them 1 card, and his hand's pretty full anyway.
Yeah, he can't
Right.
really play Harrison in this spot.
Acidic Swamp Ooze, and he would have already played it.
yeah.
I almost think right here you probably just straight up cast Vigil and maybe Hero Power.
Seems like a decent one.
First, he's supposed to be.
Put us at 8 cards. That's not too bad. Oh,
There's your
That-
bluegill.
that
Yeah.
bluegill into
Bluegill
Yeah.
in the face.
you know what
Yeah.
to do.
Real quick, I wanna throw a shout out to Inked Engaged and my wife Zagara for the follows. Thank you.
I almost thought about just removing the 5/6 there.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
remove the 5/6.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's like.
yeah. Just kind of playing devil's advocate. You could have took the bluegill warrior into our bluegill warrior. Is that right? I think I'm
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, bluegill warrior into the 5/6, and then used your face.
Yeah, he's gonna keep us from doing that. We almost have to Wild Pyro equality
Yeah.
this turn.
Yeah, that looks like the line of play. I don't
But
see
honestly,
this guy. I don't see
Looking
this guy
back on it,
concealing anything though. Like I don't see him doing that.
looking back on it, this is getting us better value for our Wild Pyro equality.
So what about Wild Pyro Equality and then trot out the Doomsayer to keep him maybe from playing something or have to burn some removal?
Well, this actually lines up really well with Solemn Vigil, anyways.
Yep.
So it allows me to play Solemn Vigil after I play this.
Mm-hmm.
Just
And
in
we
case
can
I-
also Doomsayer if we don't draw into anything worthy.
So yeah,
Second
Second
Anyfin.
anything.
I'm probably just gonna drop this Doomsayer here.
Yeah.
I like it. This keeps him from going through a crazy Edwin turn unless he can sap that or remove it some way. And then we have the answer to Edwin anyways.
Earthen Ring Farseer, maybe?
That's what I'm thinking. He's looking like he's going to heal.
I think it's maybe...
Nope.
Oh,
Wow.
Forbidden Healing.
he just spent all of his mana, and
Andy has a secret.
I can throw
ethereal-
a secret out after that.
The Ethereal Peddler was
Made
able
it
to...
0.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
so I'm thinking it's probably Noble Sack.
Which is a perfect thing to run the bluegill into.
Right, that's what I was going to test with here.
That's great.
Okay, so it's not
no
that.
sack. Oh, it's...
Eye for an eye.
Oh no, we took 2 points of damage.
I think this is a good time to use the Ivory Knot.
Yeah, that's what I was
agree.
looking
Gives
for
you
as well.
a little more board pressure.
I
I agree.
And then I say Avenging Wrath here.
Yeah, I think it's definitely. It
I
has
don't
I
think
agree.
Sacred Trial will ever get value out of this rogue. All right, we're sitting in a good spot. Uh-oh.
We were in a good spot
That's such a powerful card.
until
Well-
he drew all of his deck.
Hopefully he goes ham crazy and puts out a big Edwin.
Right?
But so far he's spending too much mana to do that.
Yeah. He does have a coin still from Tomb Pillager, but I mean, I don't see him doing anything.
Well, he can't get Edwin out now.
Right.
It's 3 mana.
All right. So
He's digging.
yeah, he's got his auctioneer on the board. So you
He
have
has
to
to
conceal.
Well, that's why we picked Avenging Wrath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
No, if there's no conceal, we've got 2 bluegills dead.
2 bluegills
It's
and
a
a war
one.
leader, so we could pretty much clear. Or
Wouldn't you clear with the weapon,
you
though?
can clear with the
Yeah.
weapon and then do
I
damage
would-
to the face.
I would clear in anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah. Do we leave the 1/1 up though?
Oh yeah, make him trade into it.
I mean, even if we clear the 1/1, we'll still have a 4/1 bluegill up.
Yeah.
Right.
Just send it all to
But-
face.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I think
he
so.
still has to clear it. So unless he's got a back, well, he's probably got a backstab.
I
can't
worry
imagine
about
he wouldn't have a backstab.
cold blood shenanigans.
The only
But-
problem that I think we have now is if he plays some sort of random taunt creature that he got off like Swashbuckler. Because I think the second one has enough to kill him.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Well, now that that's back in my hand, I don't know that play is accurate, but
Yeah.
You know, but now
actually, I
There's-
still think it is, isn't it? I mean,
Now-
it's still
yeah.
two.
We'll
Two
get
war
2
leaders
war
and
leaders.
four bluegills.
4
will still be-
bluegills, that's 6 minions, yeah.
Yeah.
So
And each bluegill's 6 damage. That's 6 times 4 is 24. That's lethal.
Lethal.
Yeah.
Math.
I'm terrible at it. If you've watched my streams, you know I'm terrible at it.
It's one thing
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at.
Dusharmo in chat just said it just delays lethal 1 turn.
it's
Theory-
still lethal. Yeah,
theory,
it's still
fun.
It's still lethal.
Oh,
it's still
Really?
lethal. Yeah, it's still lethal.
Is it?
no, it's
No, I'm off by
off.
1.
Oh, 1.
Because he
it's
put that
only
one
the
back
one
in my
word.
right.
Yeah,
You'd have had to
right.
play it and die first.
Yeah. I was thinking about putting out the war
But
leader and then
next turn you can play. Avenging
I mean,
Wrath.
Avenging
Yeah.
Wrath.
Yeah.
If
Even
the
if
board's
he
empty,
clears the
kill him.
board.
Even if he doesn't clear the board, I could still just play a war leader and probably kill him.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Brand.
Shenanigans.
Okay, no, that's fine. But he's probably got a bunch of free spells
Nothing
now.
he could do.
I mean,
Unless he's
I'll
got
have a bunch
free
of free
consecrate.
paladin spells.
well, yeah, that would be bad. A free consecrate would definitely be.
That's fine.
Yeah, that works.
so hard.
So I think you have to Tyrion here, don't you?
Yep.
I think Tyrion's the play here.
He's already played one sap, so it's probably right.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, even if he kills it, you still hit him in the face next turn with Ashbringer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Sap's the only thing that's going to delay him, but I don't think he can win with it.
Like, all of us together were like, math, it's lethal. And then it was like, wait a second. No, it's not.
Yeah,
It's not lethal. Wait a second.
Mathing in 2016. Come on.
In my defense, I did disclaim that I was terrible at math. So,
How many of us, he gave up. How many of us got our education in Tennessee?
I'm willing to admit that.
Yeah. So,
Kentucky math isn't much better.
I want to congratulate all those people today that are winning in their Tavern Brawls and going 8 wins or 5 wins. They still have not fixed that bug.
I wanna congratulate Twitch chat on mathing right.
Yeah.
It's
Tell us we were
16.
wrong.
It is 16. I think we're super heavily favored in that matchup, anyways. So,
Yeah. We can make mistakes.
like, Rogue takes way too long to set up, and the longer we have to just get our combo off, the better we are.
We're queuing up for another one?
I was, and then it looks like something happened to my client.
Oh, okay.
Give me just a second.
It does that sometimes if your opponent disconnects it. It will eventually pop
Okay,
you up
'cause
an error.
it's spinning forever.
Forever. Means your opponent probably disconnected.
Yeah,
Give me just a second. Oh,
go ahead and back
yeah,
out.
yeah, my opponent disconnected, and then, yeah, hold on just a second. I'll be back.
Yeah, that's fine. I will spectate you again when you get back in.
I'm returning right now. It gave me the error message.
That seems to be cropping up a little bit more too. The error.
Yeah, congratulations on your Tavern Brawl.
Your heroic Tavern Brawl you just started?
Yeah.
I'm really busy, guys. I can't help it. Though I thought that Heroic Tavern Brawl was a really good format, and it makes a healthier Hearthstone community, in my opinion. But
I do. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
I enjoy a competitive aspect of the game.
I thought it was good to try. I don't think it's something that I would do regularly. I think that I done one and I went 5 and 3, so I feel like I've got all my luck out of the way. So
All right, so we got a warrior this time.
The Bad Wolf.
excuse me.
Well, we're definitely not keeping Rag here.
I don't think
we keep anything. Yeah, like it's like Solemn Vigil was kind of a maybe if he's Tempo Warrior,
Mm-hmm.
but you
So,
have to hope that he's Tempo in that situation.
right, so this isn't terrible. We got Forbidden Healing, we got our Acolyte, we got a Wild Pyro. So
and an Anyfin.
and an
First
Anyfin.
Anyfin.
Yeah. So just pass on turn 1, then Hero Power turn 2 probably.
Yeah, there's no playing the Wild Pyromancer for no reason. Right into that fiery.
So
War Axe.
yeah, he's just gonna Fiery War Axe right up on turn 1 with an empty board.
I bet he's gonna kill this 1/1.
That would be
Probably.
amazing.
I like it. He's scared of this blessing of kings that I don't have.
That coin on the.
Oh, he's pirate.
Okay, that's it. This is Pirate Tempo. Well, we know he's going to go face with everything.
Yes.
Right.
We're gonna play taunt. He's still gonna go face.
That's right.
I think I just run out. Actually, I think I just run out Acolyte here because I'm gonna trade my 1/1 with the 2/1,
Yeah.
and hopefully he puts his weapon into my Acolyte. He's not going to. He's going face. But if he plays something else with like 1 health, which a lot of his minions are, I'm able to trade with it and draw a card, which is what I want to do here. So. Can't let him have any pirates. Bloodsoul Cultist is pretty good. Hey.
All right.
So that's a pretty good card.
Yeah.
And there's 2 of them.
All right. So, what are you thinking here on?
I'm honestly probably just hero powering here. I don't see any reason to try to like. I think the only thing that I could say is like playing Wild Pyromancer is a board presence. It doesn't trade well with his 2/1, so he's just gonna trade into it, and then I just lose a 1/1.
Okay.
I mean, it might buy me 2 health, like, and I don't know that I need to buy 2 health for a possible board clear, because if he decides to get like a Bloodsoul Cultist out with another, like, I don't know. I'm a little greedy with my Wild Pyromancers. Maybe I shouldn't be as greedy with them.
That's probably not a bad thing. I'm probably good with just trotting out a hero power here. It's like we like to say around here, don't forget to use your hero power.
That's right. That's my line.
I think we're gonna wait a turn.
I think worst case scenario, he just runs the shield into it. I don't think there's any way he wastes a War Axe charge. He might just ignore it.
Mortal Strike to face, 2/1 to face, and Axe to face. All right.
At this point, how uncomfortable are you?
Me?
Yeah.
Pretty good. Like, if I have to, I can just heal back up to 22 here.
Yeah.
Because I'm probably not playing Solemn Vigil. So, and then I just go face. And then he's got 3 cards in hand. And I play an Ivory Knight on turn 6. So I'm looking pretty good, actually.
Yeah, and we got Ivory Knight turn 7 if we want to.
And we're looking pretty like with if I didn't have Ivory Knight, I would probably be a little worried. I'd be like, like if that was a true silver instead, I'd be like, well.
So he's
that's no good.
playing Arcanite Reaper and going face.
Naturally. Do we want to get that shield off at any point?
I think you do. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to do it like the turn after I played a minion, so that way he can't just like take 2 damage off of like an Ivory Knight without like.
Right.
And if he played like another Fiery War Axe, it makes his trades better. So I wanted to play it after.
Yeah.
That was my line of play.
Yeah. Ducharmo in chat says Ivory Knight this turn, Ivory Knight next turn, Tyrion turn after that.
Holy Light ends up being 8 points of healing, but Enter the Coliseum.
6 now.
Yeah,
It's 6 now, but it's board clear if he decides to put some pirates out.
I like Enter the Coliseum.
I did too. I think just in case, like we might, like the only other removal I have right now is Pyro X. So
Yeah.
Matt at Arms says healing is cheating. Especially when your opponent's trying to smork you.
I actually really like my hand right now.
Let's see what he's going to do with that last charge of the Arcanite.
That's a really tough decision. Like if I was like I've played Pirate Warrior a little bit because it's just kind of a fun little smork deck, and a lot of times if you have another like weapon, then you go ahead and go face. But if you don't, so yeah, if you don't have another weapon,
he's got weapons aplenty.
So
what do you think about playing the other Ivory Knight here and killing the 2/1?
I think that's probably a better play than just like drawing 2 cards and playing Bluegill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's the only other play that I'm making. Like if I'm not making the Evernight play, I'm definitely drawing 2 cards and playing Bluegill. But that puts me at a risk of dying because he can definitely do an extra 9 damage, I think.
Yeah.
I agree.
So
Another end of the Coliseum.
And another holy lot. Isn't this the same choices?
I think I had Noble Sack.
Noble Sack. Okay.
He did have Noble Sack, and I still think you do enter the Coliseum here.
You don't think that Holy Knight's better on this turn?
What are you going to play it in conjunction with?
Question is, can he do 16 points of damage?
This turn?
Because he'd have to do 20.
We're roping, by the way.
Yeah.
Because they don't play a lot of minions after they play their first few. Like he's holding Bloodcell Cultist, which is probably his best minion, but he has to have something to trigger its ability with, because he's not going to just throw it out there for nothing at this point. He's not in any trouble. Like we're not pressuring him, so he's just like the only problem with this is that I'm probably just going to burn one of my own creatures with an enter, or I'm just never going to play it.
There's that thought.
Because he's not going to care about the 2/1 South Sea Deckhand that he plays after he plays. You know, like that's not a real relevant card to him. Well,
there's
10.
15.
He would have killed us.
Yeah,
He would have
I'm glad.
killed us.
Yeah, I'm glad we took it out.
Wow. Ooh. No, he would have had us at 1. He would have had us at 1.
Yeah.
He would have had us at
I really don't think that he can beat this card.
I don't think he can get past it.
Like I really don't. Like you just put the 2/1
the only
ones
thing,
in.
I mean, if he's got the only direct damage they really have is
The
Mortal
second Mortal
Strike. Yeah.
And he'd have to be below 12 life for me to worry about that right now.
Yeah. So use the 2/1/1s. Now we can pressure damage. And see, if we were at 1 right now, the Mortal Strike would be a
Lethal.
threat. Yeah. There's a cultist he needs, declare Tyrion.
Can I? Is that lethal? It is. No, it's not. It's 1 point off again.
Yeah.
5, 13. Can we survive this at all?
I think
Bluegill. Doesn't the Bluegill?
no. Bluegill
Blue-
takes
wait.
1 off.
15, yeah. We're 1 off.
So the best play I think I can make is putting the 4/2 into the 3/4.
Actually,
and then playing Solid Vigil.
no. Wait, yeah, you're right. You're right. Go ahead.
If I put the 4/2 into the 3/4 and play Solemn Vigil, I have a chance of getting Forbidden Healing. Oh, I've already played my 1 copy. So
Yeah.
like the best.
Let's see. Let's look at the deck list real quick because you've already
Okay,
played.
so hold on. We can run a 4/4 to the 3/4, 4/2 to face, Bluegill to face. We'll have to overwrite our weapon with the 4/2,
Right.
so
Right,
we
so
heal
we can
1
heal
out
by-
of lethal.
We can heal by 2.
Yeah, that's the only way to. I play this first.
Ooh, that overdraw us?
Yeah.
Yeah, by 1. That's okay.
I mean,
he has to.
I was gonna say we died a Grom either way.
We die to any damage.
Like anything that.
If he
like
sneezes real hard, I think we die.
like Mortal.
There we go.
Or Chronoleaf.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, crap.
That was a rough matchup from the beginning, though.
It was, yeah.
That's not one we want. No, not when we're queuing into Warrior. Like I'm more comfortable playing against the control there for sure.
Yeah. All right. So that makes us 1-1. So we're going to game 3.
Don't
Yeah,
let
we
me
always
down.
try to do a
Anyfin.
best of 3.
Don't let me down, Anyfin. Come on, baby.
On
Have
the
you guys
ladder,
been seeing a lot more of the Pirate Warrior on the ladder here lately?
Yes.
I've been seeing a lot of everything. I mean, I'll queue 10 games and get an even mix of aggro, tempo, mid-range, and control. It's ridiculous.
All right. So we got another warrior. And our opening hand is True Silver, Forbidden Healing, Acolyte of Pain, and Aldor Peacekeeper.
I'm gonna hope that this is not Pirate. I'm probably not keeping True Silver or Forbidden Healing in this hand.
Okay.
And I'm probably keeping Acolyte and Aldor.
And Cerberus, I've noticed that towards the end of the month, you see less Control Warrior, more Pirate Warrior.
Okay.
I guess
play
where it's just
Control
people
Warrior.
trying to climb.
Okay.
I play Control Warrior, but I usually do that when I hit about 5.
Yeah, once you get to 5, it's mostly Control anyway. Control and mid-range Shaman.
And I've seen a ton of the tempo warrior, the pirate warrior here lately, and I didn't know if it was just where I was, the rank that I was at, that I'm seeing a lot of it, or if it was just making that much of a comeback throughout the ladder.
I'm guessing you're probably around the 15 circus.
10.
10? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That 10 to 15 is real bad right around 15. It's an absolute crapshoot. I mean, you
Yeah.
never know what you're going to get. You have people making homebrew decks. You have people making net decks. It's crazy. Usually starts to slow down right about 10.
Okay.
The one crab.
The one crab that got away.
He's the one crab.
That's right. Make me a Krabby Patty.
Oh,
this is
Dragon Warrior.
Dragon Warrior. Well, this plays right into it.
yeah.
Damn,
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
say
run this guy right into his.
Curve. Gotta love it.
Murloc eats fairy.
I like it.
Oh.
Oh, where's Zika?
For him not to have a play 3, I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah,
That's
And see, if he was a real crab, he would have a hungry crab.
there you go.
I'm probably gonna play Acolyte since he didn't play anything on turn 3.
I think
Yeah.
that's a safe play. Yeah.
My bet is you're going to get an Alex Straz's champion this turn.
no. I think you're gonna see the fierce monkey.
Like-
oh,
Yeah.
or
I'm
not?
just gonna armor up.
Just gonna armor up there.
He
So-
changed his whole game plan because he knows what I am.
Yeah. So turn forward. You want to just trot out the war leader here, or
Yeah, I think that's probably the best play. It's just,
Yeah,
It's
I've learned never put 2 acolytes out against warrior because they
No.
just ravaging ghoul and revenge you to fatigue and burning your spells
overdraw.
yeah,
big time.
So there's that frothing berserker.
yeah.
There's that
Okay.
thing.
There's that guy.
Blood Dicker.
So he just wants to play everything on one turn.
Looks that way.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Well, I like that draw.
Yeah, that's really good for
That look-
taking care of that.
That looks like a troll bane right there.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the play. And then berserker. Do you leave like Finley up?
Yeah,
And
I
just-
would.
Yeah.
I would run your acolyte into Finley actually.
You could leave the 2/1 up.
I would rather just leave Finley up, I think.
I guess our war leader dying is what we want to do anyways.
Yeah. And it gives me a possibility of maybe drawing more cards. Which I'm okay
Well, we're
with.
getting a guaranteed 2 now. Could we coin out this?
Yeah.
See,
I think, yeah.
Yeah,
Coin
coin
out
out the
the
vigil
vigil.
I
now.
like that.
Best time for the coin, I think.
Hey, Desharmo, yeah, that's actually, that was the first play that came to my mind was the Wild Pyro into Consecrate. But you, there's some concern about big dragon taunts like this one. And so
Yeah.
you pretty much have to save your Wild Pyro for your qualities in this matchup.
What about what about Doomsayering to keep him from playing something?
Well, I'm gonna probably just like True Silver down the 3/6 and then play Consecrate and then
That's what my thought was.
Okay.
and then probably
just-
I think I Doomsayer after that. Like he's got 4 cards in hand. The odds of him wanting to play something on turn 7s.
Do we
probably
want to
2
throw
cards.
away the card draw? Or do we go ahead and, since we're going to Doomsayer, do we run in the Acolyte now for card draw?
Yeah, I think that's probably the best.
Because if we Doomsayer after that, we're going to throw away the card draw.
Right.
Do you really need it? I guess is what I'm.
I don't know that it's like necessarily like you need it, but I have to find my Anyfins. I already got one, but I've only played a Bluegill Warrior, right, and a War Leader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna kill this guy quickly. So
You're looking for your qualities too, because you know that Dracula is coming.
like equality is important. Like I almost draw here, but I like that better. I like playing Doomsayer better just because it kind of slows down. Like if you wanted to play a heftier minion now, you can't. Because I don't want to.
If he starts sending damage to face, then we're probably going to see the Crusher.
I was going to say he's going to have a Crusher soon.
Wow, he just sacrificed the Curator.
Curator, yeah, that's...
It was to fill his hand. That was the only reason he
Still,
was there. Ivory not here?
I would have waited a turn.
I'm just running Ivory Knight here. That's...
It applies pressure. He's got a... Oh, man.
This is awful.
Stand Against Darkness?
Stand Against Darkness just dies
up
against a Ravaging.
Yeah.
I would say Blessed Champion.
I really hate taking that card too.
Well, it's...
Like, you could say Sacred Child, but... Because he's probably going to try to go wide at some point. Like, with Alex draws as champions and things, and he's just... I don't know. He probably just drew a Beast and a Dragon, so he's probably playing out...
It'll at least make him play around other secrets.
Our chat room says Blessed Champion is the best of the three.
Yeah, I think you Blessed Champion here because even then you make a Peacekeeper just monstrous.
I'll take that.
Basically turn it into a slightly weaker Fire Elemental.
Yeah.
All right.
Is he...
There's the taunt.
Well, we got the true silver champion for the... Ooh.
This Ratio, you picture him just wringing his hands like, ooh.
Yeah. I'm still kind of thinking, what about weapon and clear the board?
Weapon and board clear.
Yeah.
I think you definitely weapon the monkey here and clear the Corruptor.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best play. Like, I don't know about playing an Acolyte into this board though.
And draw from the Solemn Vigil.
If we could draw and put us at 9 cards right now and just put up a dude.
Right, like
Then what are you going to do next turn? I mean, you've got Tyrion, but I mean, I can see value in Solemn Vigil here, but we're running through our cards faster than he is. And we need to keep his armor in check, so I think we need to put something on the board.
I think you just go with Aldor here, but I don't like that play because
No.
I think I just hero power and pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Chat says we're a combo deck. We need to draw every chance
Yeah,
we get.
and that's kind of my thought too.
I maybe we should have played Vigil there.
I think that was our best place to put Vigil. We really need to find that equality.
Well, I think you're not going to find a better target than the 6/6 for an Aldor.
Yeah, I think I just play an Aldor and then weapon down the
Yeah.
We drew into the second Aldor, so that's good.
I still don't see any reason now without now not casting Solemn Vigil.
Solemn Vigil.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Hero power.
Hero power.
I actually like Loot Hoarder better.
Yeah.
Yeah, Loot Hoarder.
Definitely.
Definitely. Well, there's 2 ghouls out of his deck.
Yeah, there's our second Ivory Knight.
Actually, Well, that sucks.
Is that going to overdraw us? No.
I really
we're
would
not.
like an equality here. Now I definitely like an equality here.
Yeah.
I think you're
Needing that
fine.
Yeah,
equality.
because you could still. I could
There
still.
it is.
There you go.
Yep.
That's the theme on this show. Ask and you
We
shall
call it.
receive.
We call it.
Do you guys play Pyro Consecrate and then put the 3/2 into his 1/5, or do you just go Pyro full
See-
Pyro X?
I see. That's what I'm thinking. I think you just go ahead and Pyro Consecrate.
Right. I like
Leave
that.
us with 3-1.
Yeah. I like that line of play better.
So Let's Surf, earlier in chat, he was talking about our Consecrate value from the first game. How's that for Consecrate value?
Get there.
So at this point, we really just need to see a second Anyfin.
Yes.
How many blue? Did we get both our bluegills dead?
No, we've only seen one bluegill, one war
What I
leader.
thought. Knew we only had one war leader. Looks like Tyrion's the way to go.
Yeah, yeah, I was definitely gonna think. That's what I was saying.
He's
Yeah.
low on his cards in his hand.
Yeah,
too.
he's running out of gas. He's running out of threats.
I don't know. Barnes is pretty good in this situation.
But what do
Another
we have
Murloc?
with Barnes? All we got.
Well, I was getting ready to say you can pull a Murloc or you can pull
Ragnar.
Light Lord.
Light Lord.
Yeah, we could.
Because we're running low on critters.
And at the same time, I can still play Ivory Knight in the same center.
Yep.
so-
Yep.
We
Right.
could use the healing right now.
Huh.
That's
That's wonderful.
That's pretty weak. I mean, we're not casting a spell, so that's not
Yeah.
the worst. Well, Hammer of Wrath will clear his thing when we cast it.
Yeah.
I probably would just rather run the pyro into it if he doesn't kill it, and then as long as I have a minion left.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think it's smart to just.
Oh yeah. I would run the pyro. I'd kill the pyro off first before you use the Hammer of Wrath. Yeah.
It just depends on how he plays this turn out.
He's used 2 Ravaging Ghouls. Revenge?
What?
Ow.
all
He
right.
just totally got rid of his Tyrion.
Yeah,
removal.
so what that tells you is that he doesn't have any real removal in his hand except for maybe a shield slam.
Yeah.
He has
So-
no way to get that shield slam
And
going.
he didn't kill our 1/1 pyro, so I mean we could always equality here and clear the board.
Right, and then just play Tyrion.
Wait,
But
no.
why would you equality?
Yeah.
You can run your 1/1 knight into the other.
Nope. Run both of your minions to face, and then when you Hammer a Wrath the 4/4, the pyro will kill both
Oh,
as your
that's true too.
Yeah.
Yeah, go face.
It'll kill our board, but it's just 2 1/1s.
Yeah.
And then
War
drop
leader.
War leader.
Yeah, I don't think we need to Doomsayer.
No. Hero power.
Power.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even acolyte at this point. We're behind on draws, but honestly, we're getting them on the ropes with the Anyfin anytime now.
So he's got
Well, he lost his ability to armor up out of the matchup. So
yeah. So he's got 10
anything will
cards.
take
Our
him out.
6.
Wow.
I don't know what this guy's hand could be that he has to use a. That's
All right.
interesting.
You just Tyrion?
I think that's right.
I think that's correct.
yeah, I think you Tyrion loot hoarder here.
Yeah, that's what I was
Well,
gonna
like-
ask.
Loot Hoarder. We
I
got
don't,
we got 5 cards. I guess that's fine.
Yeah.
and I think Loot Hoarder trades better if he has some weird way to deal with this.
That's true.
Plus, we need to let's see. Have we had both of our bluegills die?
Yes.
No. Never.
Right.
Oh, we still have one war leader. One.
We ran the first one into his 3-2 at the beginning of the game.
Yeah,
Right.
have you seen the other one?
I don't think we've played another one since.
No, but both our war leaders are dead.
Yeah.
Now.
Right.
Wow, he just can leave a damage.
This is
chariot.
lethal, right? No, because that's going to be 12. 12, 14,
There's the other bluegill.
16.
Blessed Champion on the Tyrion.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, might as well. It's as good a target as you're going to get.
I mean, that means he has to remove it.
Right. Bluegill, hero power, face. Pass.
It pretty much writes itself there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Regardless of Anyfin's lethal, no matter really pretty much no matter what he does, aside from Reno Jackson.
I think he was leaning on his revenge. Like, I think he was expecting to get below 12 there and then play a revenge.
There's the Alexstrasza's champion.
Which doesn't do anything for him. Unless he has weapon removal and revenge. Still doesn't do anything for him.
Ragnaros.
Rag. Yellow rag.
I never even knew you had so many.
I think he looks kind of more orange-ish red, not yellow.
I think you anything for the BM.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not a BMer.
Oh, wait.
Wow.
Okay.
I want to point out, Blackrod in chat said, I had another screen pulled up until I heard Blessed Champion on Tyrion? What?
That's how I roll.
Those are good games.
Great games, guys. So we went 2-1 tonight with the Anyfin deck. If you guys want to check out this deck list, it'll be on our website with the episode. We post every deck list, heropowerhs.com. So, guys, let's do our end of show last thoughts. This time we're going to start with Versika.
I mean, Anyfin's been around for a while. So if you're waiting for a chance to play it, I feel like now is a good time to play it. And yes, Matt at Arms pointed out in the chat room that we did say that this was a DOA once the old Murkai rotated out. We were wrong. It obviously is not DOA. And on a personal note,
It's not as strong as it was.
not as strong as it was, but so this past week we were reading some Amazon reviews. So apparently, if you're buying gummy bears this holiday season, please make sure that they are not the sugar-free version. If they are the sugar-free version, I need video.
All right. Zeroshio.
What? How do I follow that up? Okay. I want to give a huge shout out to our chat room. We have record numbers tonight. The Tasteful Charade guys have just been nothing but a joy on the show. You're welcome back anytime you want. I've had so much fun tonight. Guys, keep checking out our show. We are obviously doing something right because you guys are still checking us out. But we have more awesome guests lined up. We have awesome show planned for 60. We have tournaments starting in January for our patrons. Now is the best time to come check us out and become a patron. Join our Facebook community. Join our Discord community that's open to our patrons. And last but not least, please rate us on iTunes. Those iTunes reviews are very important to a podcast's longevity. If they don't get enough reviews, they don't get high enough on the list for people to notice them that don't get part of the community and get hearsay from the other listeners of the podcast. So please go rate us on iTunes and help us get seen by people that haven't seen our show yet.
Yep. All right. Guys, Cerberus, Sabertooth, I just want to thank you guys for being on the show. Why don't you tell everybody else one more time where they can find you all and when they can watch you?
You can find us on Facebook if you look for Tasteful Charades. You'll see we have the ice cream cones and of course, Tasteful Charades and by our name, or is our name rather. Gosh, I can't talk tonight. I have that trouble when I'm on stream. But yeah, find us there. You can find us on YouTube by searching for Tasteful Charades as well. Just as Chimp said earlier, you can type us in just about any search engine and find us that way. And as far as when we stream, we typically stream. Unfortunately, it's rather late at night, but you can always catch our stuff on YouTube the next day or on Facebook the next day. So just due to scheduling conflicts, we have to stream it late at night or on weekends. So, but yeah, guys, we thank you guys so much for having us on the show and letting us come on and everything that you guys do for the community.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it. We really enjoyed having you guys on. It was a lot of fun. So we look forward to seeing the content you guys produce going forward. So
thank you very much.
And thank you guys. I do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hey, and open invitation to come back on the show whenever you guys want to come back on. Maybe next time Cerberus run a deck or something along those lines. Just let us know.
Sweet. Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. Going to have to get down to Knoxville as well to the next gathering, and actually I had plans on coming down to this last one, but get up with you guys. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
funny you should say that.
In December, we actually have 2 gatherings back to back on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday is actually going to be at a local tavern. Is it Green's Tavern?
Yes.
And that is limited to those of drinking age, so 21 and above, unfortunately. But then Sunday is going to be our normal fireside gatherings over at Level Up Games in Knoxville.
Also, real quick, I just wanted to point out that on December 3rd, Saturday, December 3rd, time will be posted in the Facebook group. If you're local to Knoxville and you have any painting experience or you just want to come hang out, we will be over at Level Up. We are definitely showing up that day to help paint the space that we have been using
Their tournament
for our
center. Yeah.
for our tournaments as a way of saying thanks to those guys for being such awesome hosts. So if you just want to come out and hang out, I'm going to be doing most of the painting, but
I'm going to be there
love to have the
supervising
company.
for Sika doing most of the painting.
They're not climbing ladders.
There may be some video coming. So yeah, it's going to be fun. Fun will be had. So yeah.
All right.
I do have one last thing because it was mentioned in the chat room, and thank you, Ducharme, for reminding me. I am streaming Hearthstone. Mainly, it's been ladder play. I did some the Heroic Tavern Brawl, and I'll probably stream some Arena. I don't have a set schedule because of the holidays, but I'm trying to stream Friday, Saturday nights. If you follow me on Twitter at ZerotioHS, I usually give a shout out shortly before I go live with my stream, and then come January, I'll have a schedule set up for my streaming times.
If you are a patron, you will get an alert in our Discord when he goes live streaming. So there is
Sweet.
also that benefit to being a patron, knowing when we go live on our individual streams.
And
All right.
actually, now that I've got my room set up, I'm going to be contributing to that streaming schedule as well. So
Nice. All
I
right,
have
guys.
two Hero Power streamers going.
If you have any questions or comments about the show, please email us at heropowerpodcast@gmail.com. Or you can also go to our website, heropowerhs.com, and click on the Contact Us tab at the top of the page, and it will send an email to all of us. We can get you that way. If you haven't done so, please hit that subscribe button below on YouTube, or give us a follow on Twitch to be alerted when we go live. For more details on our upcoming Hero Power Invitational Tournament, check out patreon.com/HeroPower. You can also get in on all the other goodies that are involved with that. And as always, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for joining us, and good gaming.
Bye-bye.
That is a sad pack, sir.
I know,
That's
right?
sad.